Hello, everyone. This is Andres Pop Culture Cat. Today, I'm monitoring this awesome Dune Prophecy Episode 5 live recap on Episode 5 of today. Anyway, so great start for Monday. Of course, I have my best friends here, or slash, hosts here, Cyberneticshark and Jeff S. True Knowledge, to
Oh,
discuss, you know, the Dune Prophecy show. Can't believe it. This is one more episode next week, and we're done with this show, which is crazy. Um, I gotta let's start here. Start with you, Jeff. Do you like this episode? Are you excited for the finale for next week? What's your opinion on the
oh,
show?
oh yeah. I really liked episode 5. It was really good. Really good. Just like all the episodes have been really good. You know? So yeah, I mean I'm like a little bit I guess disappointed that there's only one episode left. So that kind of sucks, you know what I'm saying? But uh there's other stuff to talk about and discuss and other stuff to cover. So, we'll move forward and all that, and it'll be fine. But I'm enjoying this show a lot. So I wish it was 8 episodes instead of 6, personally. I would have liked to have gotten another 2 episodes, but this show's got a lot of potential for the future. I'm starting to see that the buzz, the like on the street, like online, in terms of like people discussing the show, uh, seem pretty positive at this point now. Regardless of any Rotten Tomatoes stuff or whatever, I'm hearing good things from people about the show. It's being compared to the Penguin, and as being of high quality. So yeah, episode 5 was really solid. A lot of twists and turns. A lot of characters. There's a lot of characters in this show, so it's hard to keep track of whose names are who and stuff like that sometimes. You know what I mean? Like with some other shows that have smaller casts, you know who everybody is, right? By name. But with this show, I don't really feel that way still. I can't identify all the characters by name. But yeah, episode 5 was great.
Yeah, that's good. Saber, what's your thoughts on this episode and just your overall opinion on the show and so far?
5 is an epic episode. It starts off amazing. It ends amazing. This whole episode just really pulled everything together and gave us so much to work with. And it was dynamite from beginning to end. Really solid episode. Once again, pulling in a strong 5th episode and just really showing that HBO is trying to make their, stuff again really, really good. And HBO has usually made really good stuff in the past, and I feel it kind of slacked off the last few years. But this year they are just killing it with between Penguin and this. They have done a excellent job. And overall, the series has been phenomenal as well. I absolutely have loved it, enjoyed every minute and second of this show, and it has not let me down at all. It's a really solid show.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, I was very impressed with this episode 5. I thought it was a good way to send us into the finale. It really picked up steam very well. This is like definitely the most action packed episode we had so far in terms of the 4 episodes we had. Like we had a ton of fight scenes and great twists and turns to the story that I was not expecting, which was really cool. And we got a good payoff for several storylines here. So let's get into it because speaking of characters, as Jeff brought up before, with the family and all that, we got so many of these characters and the names are so tough. So this episode we begin with like a new member of the sisterhood joining in during the kind of like the heart being assembling his army to track down some of the resistance members here, and one of the
Nah,
sisters here.
He's appointing what's his name? Making
Hart.
David into the Bashar.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because that part I was a little confused. Okay, that makes sense.
He was
Okay.
he was giving him a military title.
Yes. So yeah, like a military tower, military role, as we see in this beginning part here. During this time, because we see Mark Strong's character here, telling everyone what's their like new ruling now, right? In their area, we get this surprise visit of Sister Francesca, arriving on the planet here. She was once a emperor. She was once like how you say advisory to Mark Strong, and she has some rivalry between to Mark Strong's wife in this Empress Nancy Natalia, because she kind of influenced over her husband's opinions and all that.
She's the mother of the son.
Yes, and that was the big twist here. So we discovered.
She was his Bene Gesserit wife or whatever. When the Reverend Mother talks about how how the sisters can imprint guys, like they can imprint on them or whatever, and then at that point they fall in love with them forever. That's what happened with Mark Strong's character. That Bene Gesserit chick, she was sent to him as like a concubine, just like Lady Jessica in Dune was sent to House Atreides to be his wife. In Dune, Lady Jessica was sent by the Sisterhood to be his wife. And have children with him. That was her role. That's the same role that she has too.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So so we see here, and at the same time, this one just wonder because we see this towards the end of the episode, but like we get some hint that the Emperor has some he's kind of like in love with her too, like infatuated with her.
He's been imprinted, as they say, imprinted.
Yeah. So,
I mean, they love each other, you know what I'm saying? But it's like a power almost that the Bene Gesserit have over men.
True, that's very true. If you haven't seen the Doom, parts, what was it like? Rebecca Ferguson had that kind of power, if you have seen that. Those films. So we got this new sister coming into the picture here. Like she arrives unannounced during the unveiling ceremony of as Jeff said before, the new military role that Hart has been kind of assigned to, right? And claiming to have gotten a message from what is it, Constantine, as the sister was saying.
Yeah.
And then the son becomes the central issue between her and the Emperor, as you say before, Jeff. That this kid is from the sister here and the and the husband. And then at the same time, Constantine always has been seen a troublesome youngster incapable of holding responsibility, and the sister kind of managed to sway the Emperor here. So let me stop here. Let me get to you, Jeff, about the opening here. What you thought about this opening here? Do you like it? What's your opinion on this new sister? Do you like this new character? The fact that we're getting a new character way away before the finale is kind of crazy. But what you thought about this beginning part?
I mean, I already said some things about it already, but I don't really have any opinion on the Emperor making Hart, the Bashar or whatever, to lead those men to root out the insurgents or whatever. That's common sense that he would do that. I understand that move, right? The fact that before his truthsayer, he used to have a Bene Gesserit woman, that whether or not they were married or they had some kind of romantic relationship. You know what I'm saying? The daughter is Carino's wife. That's her kid, the daughter. So Carino's wife, the daughter is her kid, but the son is the Bene Gesserit chick's son. So he has a kid with each one of them, you know, and that's why there's a rivalry there between the two. Obviously, it'd be nice if they would have given us the backstory of the relationships between Carino, Emperor Carino, and the Bene Gesserit woman, and then when he met his wife, you know. But we know in the Dune universe that it's very common for there to be political marriages. You know what I'm saying? So it's very possible that the Emperor was in love with the Bene Gesserit woman, right? And had a son with her, but he married his wife for political reasons. You know what I'm saying? You know, and that very well could be, you know, could be the facts. But that's all I got.
All right. Cyber, tell me about your opinion on the opening. Up to the end point is when the sister, well, not sister, I'm sorry, the emperor's daughter leaving the ceremony, and with those like pseudo guards there protecting her.
So the beginning is really solid, really good start to the episode. I mean, the graphics, the visuals, the cinematography alone is fucking amazing. Absolutely love it. It is so just gratifying and satisfying in every possible way that you're looking for a, you know, top-notch movie-looking TV show to look like. And they did that. The spaceships looked super cool. The areas that they were flying to and all that kind of stuff was super cool. The, you know, finally the son getting crowned the new like security guard type of person for him is really awesome. You know, I think that's really fantastic. I mean, the fact that he is finally getting into his father's good graces is a good sign, and that's what he's always wanted. And you know, you have just really classic things going on there, and you really get to understand kind of, you know, that character a little bit more in this section. You also get to see a little bit more of kind of where they're going with the setup for the finale, as well as Andres has mentioned, especially with, you know, the Atreides guy who, you know, has the special abilities that basically seems to be indestructible. And you're just kind of like, I love how they set that up where he's like taking charge and having the guards go out and do this searching and all this kind of stuff, which was really cool. And really showing kind of like they are, you know, they are the head, they are the you know, province of the center of the whole world of Dune. So I really appreciate that they kind of give us that kind of, you know, start to showing us, you know, kind of who they are and kind of pushing forward to becoming that top power. And I think that that was really done well. The writing in this section was done super well. The thought process, everything about it was just really well done, unique, and really progressed the story along without it being you know, filler or anything like that. You know, there has been in the last 5 episodes, absolutely, I feel no filler in this series so far, and that is fantastic. It doesn't feel rushed. It felt on point. It felt like it gradually moved its way through this beginning section to, you know, basically, you know, the half sister, you know, leaving the whole shindig there eventually with the guards. And you know, at this point too, this is where we find out that we have a traitor amongst us. That one gentleman who, for some reason, makes me think of.
They haven't come that far yet. At this point in the introduction, they don't know they have a traitor yet.
Yeah, they did. If we're at the ceremony where he gets appointed because he turned in the guy that's a traitor.
No, that happens way later in the episode. We're talking about in the intro when Hart gets nominated to be the leader of the soldiers to go find the insurgents and find the rebels or whatever. You know what I'm saying? What you're talking about happens later, way later in the episode.
Yeah, I don't know who told him about the betrayer. Well, we'll get into it.
Yeah, that happens later. The kid betrays the sword master, but it happens way later.
Okay.
In the
Anyways, great beginning. Move on.
Yeah, let's move on. Yeah, well, we'll get into it because I don't know how the Emperor's son knew that he was the betrayer and like the mold. I don't know how
he found the technology. He found technology. He found a thinking machine technology and everything right in the room where he would spar. It happened like 3/4 of the way through the episode.
All right. Okay. That makes sense. Okay.
When he was in that room and he had that baton and he was beating the baton against the shit and drinking his alcohol or whatever, and then he saw his mom, he found that thinking machine.
Okay. All right. That makes sense now because I was watching the episode and I mean because there's so much they pack into it, it's like kind of hard to keep up.
Oh, you're right. It's a lot. They throw a lot at you. It's like Cyber said. There's no filler.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all like good quality content. You got to pay attention because if you don't pay attention, like there's a lot that's going on all the time with a lot of different people.
Yeah, so it's going to be tough to pay attention to like a lot of these twists and turns they did here. But okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Oh, good timing. Andre's the pop culture guy. He just dropped. That was like he fell down the hole. That wasn't Iceman. Anyways, so we lost Andre's the pop culture guy, obviously. Oh, there he is.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that.
Wow, that was a quick exit.
Yeah, quick exit. I'm sorry, folks. But anyway, I think it was Captain Cold that affected us because I cannot say Iceman because that's totally a different story there. So anyway, so thank you for clearing up that like twist because I was kind of confused how that kid.
It was that thinking machine that had the diagram of the layout of the whole building and all that. You know what I mean? And he saw that.
Yeah. So let's get back to like doing the review here. So so after we're done with the ceremony, we go back to the Hartman apartment, right? And we see Val briefing Francesca on the dire situation that the sister finds herself in, right? And she confesses when she sent the message under the Constantine name to avoid being tracked by the Spacing Guild. You can explain what that means. This group we got mentioned here, but she tells Francesca about Mother Case's death, everything that happened afterward, and then of course Francesca in the community recognized Desmond Hart as being the reckoning that Mother Superior Raquel spoke of in her deathbed back in episode 1, and then. After this, so Francesca's mission then is to guide the House of Cororan back to the Sisterhood. Kind of like, all right, trying to lead the Emperor and to like going back to the grace to the Sisterhood. And so like convincing the Emperor to allow Princess Jens to study on what's this planet? What's 1X? And to make Constantine to the new commander of the Imperial fleet. So we get that.
To go down to Arrakis.
Yeah, Arrakis, do the spice, production as you saw in the Dune Part 1, when the Atreides did that, in the first part. So, Francesca convinces the Emperor that Constantine needs to be given more responsibility so he can prove himself. That makes a lot of sense. And it's time to convince Constantine that he has what it takes to become the man he wants to be. So I was like, okay. Then after that, we got a brief conversation in the training room where after he asked what is this? Yeah. I guess Francesca here, I'm just looking at my notes what I wrote here. What was the purpose of bringing him into the world, right? And then Francesca tells him that it's to protect his sister from harm. If it comes from people who claim to love her, which is applying, the mold that they have that they yet had arrested, and leading him to arrest as Atreides, Kenya Atreides, as later on, the emperor announces on as the commander of the fleet, as we talked about. Anyway, then I'm just give me a minute here to. So let me stop there, and I'll go to you, Cyber. Can you talk about the sister, like the Francesca? Well, okay. Talked about the beginning of back to the Harkonnen apartment up to the sister talking to the emperor about giving the son more responsibility so that he could become the new commander of the Imperial fleet. Go ahead.
This part is basically okay. I felt. I thought that it helped the story move along. I thought this section had some really great visuals, some really interesting, conversations back and forth between the different characters and so forth. And overall, I thought that it helped the story progress very well, and I enjoyed it. And I thought that all the actors and actresses that are in this, I think, are all doing a really fantastic job. And overall, one of the things I feel is very important is when you're playing a character that's a villain or a character that is supposed to be doing something you don't want them to do, they get very irritating. And the gal that plays, that one particular character that is like, I'm the only one not having dreams. She gets on your nerves, and she's just very irritating, just kind of like Inez does. Inez gets on my nerves too, because she always does the opposite of what everyone else is doing, and it drives me nuts. So I think that they all do a really good job of bringing to life their characters and really bring that out to give us a very solid, strong performance throughout these sections. And I think they did a really good job in this section as well. But overall, I think that it was a really decent section, had lots of great information leading us through the story. And overall, I thought it was a really fun section.
Thank you, sir. Jeff, tell me about you turn it on. The meeting for the Harkonnen department up to the sister talking to the emperor to give the son more responsibilities.
Well, that's a really short period of the episode, so I'm not gonna. There's, that's a really tight, really section right there. That's really rat-a-tat-tat. But I mean, Cyber pretty much already covered it. The acting is all around across the board is all really good. You can't really complain about anybody that's playing any of the characters at all. Like they all seem to be performing really well with them. Everybody, nobody takes a scene off. It doesn't seem like, again, lending towards the whole thing that Cyber said about there being no filler. The acting always holds up throughout these scenes. You can see immediately the relationship between the Emperor and the Bene Gesserit chick. You can see, the closeness that they have, and like how different he is with her than he is with his wife, because he's totally different with her than he is with his wife, right? So you can really see that, right off the bat. Just his whole demeanor towards her is very different than like how he exudes himself to his wife. And you can see that obviously she has influence on him, when she brings up, about giving the son more responsibility. Obviously she has an influence and has his ear, yeah, you could say. So, and then we know obviously down the road, right, what happens and how that ends up playing out. You know what I'm saying, later on, right? The scenes with Valia are always good when she's on screen, and we have that short scene where she meets with the Bene Gesserit chick, and fills her in with everything, right, and tells her about the Truesayer being killed and all that. I really enjoy her scenes; they're great. Cyber's right. I don't know if we got that far yet, but that one chick that didn't have the dream or whatever is kind of irritating at times. But she's all right. Like she's not the. I've seen worse performances, worse characters before in other TV shows than her. But yeah, that's it. That's, like I said, that was a short section.
Yeah. I'm just saving the big parts, towards the climax. But now we can talk to the other stuff because here is where it's kind of like really crazy here. So like we're gonna jump back now to the sisterhood, the other team, because what I want to talk about is Olivia Williams' character, Tula. She's been great to the whole series. I really like her character. I'm very engaged in that storyline. What's going on? So we'll go back.
Yeah, it's very really really interesting shit that goes on.
Yeah, exactly. So right now the school is in panic. They're worried about this whole reckoning, the whole dream psych thing that happened last week has kind of scared the whole school. The one student that's really good, I think, what's her name, I don't know what's her name. I think Karen. Yeah, Karen, or Karen, I don't know. You know uh, Olivia's character Tula kind of recruits her because Lydia is alive, and she uh is talking to this other sister, and but then I say we get discovered in this episode that Raquel, the former mother superior, is actually possessing Leah, and that's not Leah at all. So that was a big twist. I was not expecting. I thought it was the kid, but no, it's actually the mother.
Did you understand, Andres, like why that was possible? Because of the water of life and what that does does that to the person that drinks it? Did you understand how that? Because that's one of her ancestors. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I think that's it's part of that. It's part of that that bloodline. Once you're a part of that bloodline with and you drink the water of life, you can have things like possession and stuff like that occur.
Yeah, no, I kind of got it until, because because it got really interesting because the way she kind of talked to the other sister in the school, right? And she was like acting very mature, and so I was like, okay, that doesn't seem like Leah or Sister Leah, because hey, say the mother, Raquel is kind of like starting to control her body after dying in the agony. The sister that died in agony and being restrained in the tank of spice. So here in this section, you got Tula's plans like work here. So Jane, that's the character. Jane is the other sister that gets recruited to like watch over Leah. And then while she was watching Leah, as we know at the time, Raquel's getting like like how you say, like very adjust to the new body she kind of like took during the agony procedure from a couple episodes ago. As Jeff just explained before, she's the ancestor of Lydia, so she's now controlling the body here. And of course, you see the eyes, being somewhat like the Fremen, or what Rebecca Freskin's character kind of went through in part two. And so Jane explains, yeah, that at first she thinks that explain that the collective nightmare and the acolytes, of course we got another mention of acolytes, which is experiencing. However, Leah suddenly shivers her body, being taken over by Mother Raquel, as we know, who is one of her foremothers. And Raquel knows everything about the nightmare. She knows about the reckoning somehow because of the exact same vision he had on her deathbed. As
prescience. She used prescience. Yep.
Exactly. And so and then she explains that it wasn't a nightmare. It wasn't a nightmare, but a what she calls it, a pre-science vision of the upcoming reckoning that she say to Lee to Jane.
That's what prescience is, Andreas, pop culture guy. That's
okay.
That's the definition of it.
Okay. Yeah. And then this part is kind of like more important here. Like she's talking about Desmond Hart, right? That he's connected to the reckoning and all of that. Now, unable to contain Raquel, we see here in this episode that Jane leads her to the laboratory to talk to Tula, and now the role reverse between Tula and Raquel and the Leah's body is very funny for me because like now she's like tougher form. Like here her goal is to get answers, and like she's helped the sister to like because last previous episode they got the blood for Desmond Hart. As remember last episode, Desmond Hart was using his powers and he got some blood coming out from his body, and Mother Val took some of the sample to take it back to the suture to analyze it in the DNA matrix and discover who is Desmond Hart, which we don't get until the end of the episode. So let me stop there. There's just a lot of movie with that part. So Jeff, oh sorry, you're let me.
Oh, you're okay. I just want to see what Dodge. I just want to see what Dodge was doing.
Well, Driver is quiet, so I think he's me going to the agony, maybe.
No,
the water of life.
no. I thought maybe he was getting into some shit he wasn't supposed to get into, maybe, or something like that. But yeah, that was crazy. Like that really threw me off when that happened. You know, and you're right that the whole reversal of roles was like really interesting to watch. You know how Tula immediately checked herself. You know, and like put herself in check and like went into almost like disciple mode again. You know, because she had like obviously now she's got like a mother superior she's dealing with all of a sudden. You know what I mean? So it was interesting to see the role reversals. You know, and seeing her immediately wanting to go in the lab, and she's like, I've got to take advantage of this time while I have it. You know what I mean? Because I don't know how long I'm going to be in this body. She says something like that, right? I believe. Like, you know, she's like, I've got to, let's get to it because I don't know how long I'm actually going to be in here. And that's crazy. You know, like it's interesting, really interesting shit. It's very interesting. She says that she didn't have the same dream. She used prescience, or like, you know, seeing in the future. And that's how she saw the reckoning, you know, and that's interesting. You know, so yeah, you know, they find out a lot of interesting shit in the lab. Some of it's kind of complicated, having to do with, you know, how, you know, it's a virus or whatever they said, I guess, that, you know, or something like that Hart can do, that power he has or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, besides that, I can't really think of anything else. Just that, yeah, I wasn't so sure about that Lila character in the beginning of the show, but now I'm really enjoying her.
Yeah, because now she's like part of the like now part of the like crew of trying to figure out what's going on with the reckoning.
The reason that the old lady sister said to Tula, what is that abomination in there? You know what I'm saying? is because you're not supposed to do what Tula did. When somebody takes the water of life and it doesn't work, right? And the person is like laying there, like, you know, like half dead or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You know, like, or whatever. They're supposed to put them out of their misery at that point. They're not supposed to keep them alive. You know what I mean? So what Tula did was wrong. It goes against their codes and like how they usually do shit, you know?
Yeah. No. Yeah, that was that's something that's very crucial. It's good information they tell us about that. That's like illegal for them to do. So yeah, I'm very curious.
All that technology that she has in that corridor, you know what I'm saying? That's why I was shocked that she took what's her name in there. You know, I was like, wow, she's letting her go in there too. She's showing Jane and everybody what she's got in there. She's got some bad shit.
Yeah, which is crazy. Yeah. Cyber, tell me about your opinion on going back to the sisterhood, of course, seeing Tula in recruiting Jane up to the point where Raquel, you know, Mother Raquel discovering what kind of virus that Desmond Hart has.
So once again, you basically are getting a whole bunch of information that is helping the story push along. And so in this section here, you know, where we go back to the motherhood, or the sisterhood, I should say, you know, we basically get kind of more of an idea of what's going on with Tallulah and, you know, what's going on with, you know, her sister that she's trying to keep alive, her bringing in the sister that hasn't seen the visions, and stuff like that. And basically, I just feel like this is kind of just showing kind of how much the sisterhood is not in control of what they think they're in control of. And it really helps to see that, the sisterhood is flawed just like all the other systems are in place for the Dune universe. And I think that what they're trying to achieve, Mother Superior, Tallulah, stuff like that with the sisterhood is very kind of optimistic, because every time they try to push ahead, they get some sort of obstacle, and they're kind of overreaching what the sisterhood is. And I feel that they have lost eye of what the actual sisterhood is about, because they've become so engrossed with their own power and growth for it and wanting to control it. And unfortunately for Tallulah and the head mistress herself, them being actual sisters, that doesn't help either. That I don't think anybody in the sisterhood knows that they're actual sisters. So there's that deceit, that lying, plus also the overpower. It just is not working well for them. And yet we see them grasping here in this section, trying to figure out ways to maneuver and manipulate what they need to do. And so, with, Tallulah tried to keep a secret that she was able to save the gal, and then tried to figure out what to do to free her completely from what has happened. We see there's all these kind of side stories that have their own little intricate little storylines that we're kind of pulling piece to piece in each episode from. And so I think that this was kind of showing you, a little bit more tidbit into that, the sisterhood, and kind of where they're at in the whole conflict that's going on with the Dune universe right now, and, pushing on. And so we get kind of that kind of things going on there. And, I think that it travels and pursues the end game of the information very well. And we're getting to a point where we're going to get even more deep into that stuff. And I feel this little section here was kind of the catalyst to kind of push that forward. And I think they did a good job with that. Solid section of the episode.
Awesome. So let's get back to the other planet. So we see Hart, getting his men up to like search the other resistance, or the like deserters. And he invites the swordmaster Atreides to kind of join his regime of searching for the rebels, right? But he kind of declines him, and but after they kind of left the room, Constantine, the emperor's son, shows up for a lesson, but he was late as always, and of course Atreides lashes out of the boy, but like at that moment, because he's like truly afraid of what Hart would do to his like friends, because like what happened in the last episode, you saw like the couple of the resistance got burned, and that's kind of crazy. So he ends the lesson like immediately, and then he like rushes to his friend, who is like the undercover sister for Val, for that area, Sim, to kind of alert Makela, right, about
we don't know she's the sister yet until later.
Yeah, for him. But I'm saying we know she's the sister. We know that because of previous episodes that we got that confirmation, because she talked to Val like last 2 episodes ago. So to alert to this other person, Mikhail, right, about Hart's incoming attack, right? After torturing a smuggler who rats Mikhail's bar as like the hotbed for insurgents, as they say it. Hart goes straight there and like taunts her by asking why a Fremen like her is profiting from spice, and then and this was just part of my French here, like the raping of Arrakis, as he said. So Hart and the regiment like ravaged the place, while at the same time the Atreides and someone else like is kind of like setting up the detonation explosion in everywhere here, right? And this is the part I actually like about this episode here, because this is where everything becomes really like intense. You're seeing everyone, like you're seeing the army turning this place off, while Atreides, this the swordsman is kind of like trying to put everything in order for the explosions to be ready to explode, right? And he had like one encounter, one soldier he had to kill, right? And then while Sim is waiting for for the go, right? Of course, finally the Atreides got the last button, the last bomb, right? And then everything's set up, so Sims knows that they're good to go. And after that, we get the really cool moment of them trying to get away from the bar, but like they got two men kind of like, or like couple men like stopping them to get out of the like bar facility. After uh killing them, they set up the explosion and flee. And then outside I say the parts outside, when they like made, well, first up, um what is it? Hart uses his abilities to kind of protect him from the explosion, but he still kind of gets hurt in the aftermath. But
He uses his shield, his energy shield.
yes, his entry seal, as we've seen previously with the Doom movies, and so he makes it alive. But we don't know that until we get back to the other shot, and then we go back to our two other characters here. Sim and Atreides. Atreides find out right away that she is actually part of the sisterhood, and he is kind of shocked about it because of I guess the spicing, or
the blade, the knife,
the blade, the knife, right? Because he recognized the blade because that's something that the sisterhood uses particularly. So that's what happened, and then he say that no longer like talk to me, dad. Like we got a little melodrama here, and then she kind of have a tear, like started to tear up in her eyes because well, I guess the bar she helped to build is now destroying and all that. But then this boy kind of just ruined that, whatever. Um, and then I'm just looking at the okay, so then after that scene is done, we go back to the Imperial Plaza where the Emperor's son Constantine. This is where Jeff, you brought up I was kind of confused here. Constantine continues to train his frustration away when only to stop to see what Atreides has in his locker, and this is where he's surprised to find the blueprint for the plaza. That indicates that he was actually the rebel, right? And he rats him out to Hart. And so that's what happened. And then after that, when then after that happened, Atreides returns, and then of course Constantine, Hart, and the new elite reach him. All of them were ready to arrest him. So that's what happened. So let me stop there. Let me go to Cyber. What you thought about Hart asking Atreides to like join him, but he declined, up to the point when Atreides get arrested by Hart and the Emperor's son. Go ahead.
My turn?
Yeah, Cyber. Yeah, you're sorry.
You make it all confusing, sir. You just
I
make it
know.
all confusing.
I
Jesus
know.
Christ.
I know.
No wonder I
Sorry.
was lost fucking earlier. Jesus. Anyways, so where are we going to the complete end, or where do we go, sir?
Up. No. So we're up to Hart asking Atreides to come with him to like search for the scavengers, but he declined, up to his arrest, Atreides' arrest in that like training session right there. After he discovered he's the rebel. Okay, that's the end point.
All right. So this section basically just really is, pushing out the traitor basically is what this section's about. It gives you an idea of kind of where their, allegiance is, kind of their thought process, and kind of what they're up to, at this point. And, we kind of find out, as we've seen in the previous episodes, the guy that gets arrested, he you can tell is he's got other plans, other thoughts in his mind, thinking he's better than everyone. He's very arrogant. He's very maniacal. That's the type of character he is. But he secretly keeps it kind of hidden with himself. But he kind of gives a little things away at each time, as we've seen him talk with different people. And so, this guy thinks that he can make things all better. And that's kind of why he decides to do what he does. So we also have the, basically kind of going on here, showing us kind of, what kind of manpower, that they kind of have, and kind of the people that they have, doing the search and everything like that. And, we have that great scene with Desmond, who uses his shield to protect themselves. And pretty much anybody that's an explosion, even with a shield, should have died, basically. But I think that was freaking awesome. The fighting was really cool in that scene. The explosions looked really good. That whole infrastructure looked amazing. It was so well constructed, well done, and very, expertly done, like movie $300 million type of film. And I thought they did a really good job there too, as well. And then we kind of have this one gal here that, it is kind of the person that's running the place there, that we have Desmond kind of, talking to briefly. And, as you mentioned, the knife thing, the trader sees a knife and realizes he's seen that knife before. Once again, that shows ties to the sisterhood. And as I was mentioned earlier, how the sisterhood is trying to push things into certain directions to get to where their endpoint is. Here's another example of that we have here with this sister who thinks that she's doing good, thinks that she's doing the right thing, but is really just being a pawn and being used by the mother and by Tula. So, we get kind of all this little information here, like I said, pushing the story forward even more, just like pretty much all the parts of this, of this episode really do. They give us all the information we need to get to that finale, to give us an idea of where we're going to be at. And this is kind of that catalyst. Once again, this section giving us that traitor finally, and kind of helping oust who we have already in the midst that is that is bad for their situation. And Desmond is trying to kind of prove his worth still, even though he has already proved it several times, but he's tried to, do his best to help this house. And so I think that, it's a really solid section that I enjoyed. That it had a lot of great points, lots of good fighting, and just overall, I think that the graphics, the cinematography, and the craftsmanship of the sets were just phenomenal.
Jeff, your opinion on the whole bargain taken down up to Atreides getting arrested?
Yeah, everything looked great, like it always does with HBO and with this show so far. Everything looked great visually, and everything sounded great. It was really cool how the sisterhood had set Hart up, with the bombing. You know what I mean? Like, they set him up, to take him out, to eliminate him, and it seems like Cyber said, it seems like nothing that they can do against this guy works, like they tried to kill him, you know what I'm saying? They tried to set him up, Mother Superior was gonna stop the rebel attack, but that didn't happen, you know what I mean? He just seems to be stymieing them like everywhere. Everything that they try to do against him doesn't work. So it's very interesting. Obviously it was some really good action scenes. Seeing the fighting, with the Swordmaster against those soldiers and all that, that was pretty solid. I found it interesting, that the son, was able to find that evidence against the Swordmaster, like the way he did. I don't know why he went in his locker, but he did. And he found that blueprint, and that was a ticking machine type deal, and you can't have that. So, now that guy's fucked. I don't even know why they even still have him alive, to be honest with you. I don't know why they're even keeping him alive, but so he got arrested, he's pretty much fucked now. I don't see how he's going to get out of that. Unless that daughter's going to get him out, going to set him free, I don't know. That can happen in the next episode. I guess we'll have to see. But that's all I got.
Yeah, I think that is going to happen if you haven't seen the preview. So it makes sense because we see towards the end of the episode, that she used the powers to find out like everything was true, or like everything was real for her and all that. So let's get into like the whole climax, the ending of it. So I hope like I could see this so right now. So Francesca, says she had yeah, so let's hold on, let me get here. So Val, so we go back to Val here where she meets up to the Michaela, the Freeman that's like the the mold for the sisterhood, for the emperor here. And she kind of like gives passes to her to like go back to Arrakis. She reports that Heart survived the explosion, but gets angry when Val tells her that there is a statistic for that. So Michaela lost. She here's where she gets like frustrated with the mother Val here about like the lost work of lifetime that she has done for the bar and all that. You know, but Val tells her it wasn't in vain. So apparently, which it requires to keep her occupied while you know uh for Francesca to like exert her influence over the emperor. So that's the whole reason. Like this wasn't a waste. It's just a matter of time for this other sister to kind of get the influence over the emperor, so everything can kind of line up here. So this is where Mother Superior gives the Michaela character access to the sisterhood's safe house on Arrakis, but rather than leaving on good terms, Michaela warns her that she won't betray the Freeman like she betrayed the rebels, right? And then after that, let me just look at here. There's a lot here. Okay, so we did that. So after that, we go to the dinner here. Finally, where we see the emperor kind of like renigning his son to become the new I say the new commander for the fleet here. And then simultaneously the sister is like very angry and very annoyed about the reveal for the swordsman Atreides being the mold the whole time. But then at the same time we get the other big shoe here where how you say it, the empress is also not pleased as well to see that the sister is getting the credit here. Jeff, you could come in here as well, like because you see this like glaring reaction here where she was
She
very
doesn't. She doesn't want her son to be the commander of the fleet.
right, and she's seeing how the sister here is kind of like moving the chess piece right now for it to
And
happen, right?
that's a scary position to be in. You know what I'm saying? That's a dangerous position to be in. You know what I mean? Arrakis
Yeah,
is dangerous.
yeah. I mean, well, yeah. As we see before, yeah, the Rackets is very dangerous. I mean, the Freeman always attacks, the spice production, as we've seen with part one and part two. So yeah, so like the mother, yeah, no, you have a good point there. So like the mom is like very shocked to hear that she didn't want that for the son, but the dad is doing that, give him more responsibility. But like she sees it like also that it could be the sister that just right now this doing this, right? So then after that, um, this here after the like ceremony here, this is where the princess interrogates Atreides, who pledges to improve the Imperial, and she asked him that their relationship was it real or not, and he said that I fell in love with her, with you, and I would do anything to like regain trust, right? So then simultaneously we get because this is where we get how you say connected to the plot lines sinking in. Tula then goes down to the chambers that she got Lydia to kind of resurrect, and she got shocked to discover that Desmond has so here she discovers from the blood sample they discover from episode 4, and she got the shock here that Desmond has the Atreides and Harkonnen blood, which indicate that this is her son. Because remember, episode 3, she had sex with the other Atreides, like when she was a teenager. So this is her son that she discovered just now. That this is the Desmond Hart is her son, because who else who has the Atreides and Harkonnen blood? Cybernetics. So that's why she had that utter shocked face right there. And then the same time, the Empress sees how the sister here steals her power and her daughter, and she goes into visits Hart in the quarters where he kind of recovers from the explosion. And this is where she tells him that the sister is taking everything from her and asks why they did to him. And then, Desmond reveals the woman who gave birth to him was a sister who sent him to live among the scavengers. And she hears that, and then, of course, she kisses him and promises that together they will rid the Imperium of the Sisterhood. And we cut to, the episode. So let me start with you, Jeff. So from pretty much the dinner up to the ending, go ahead, and you can talk really about the lore and everything.
So the dinner, the Empress is like looking over at the sister chick and kind of like noticing that she's really excited and everything, and like making eye contact with the Emperor, as he's giving his son this new position, you know what I'm saying? And so she doesn't like that, because she's already jealous to begin with of the sister, You see how affectionate the Emperor is. Whenever you see the scenes where the Emperor is with the sister, you see the scene where she puts her hand on his chest, and they kissed earlier too in the episode. We didn't talk about that, but they kissed briefly. He kissed her, Have you seen him try to kiss his wife at all during the show? No. You know what I'm saying? So she's jealous, and it was kind of far-fetched that the daughter, Inez or whatever her name is, that she could use that truth power, that truthsayer, ability with the clicking, you know what I mean? Like on the Atreides guy. She just barely started getting Bene Gesserit training recently. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's not a trained Bene Gesserit. So, like, the fact that she was able to do that was kind of, like, a little bit sketchy, I thought. But still, it was still cool. It was still cool that she was able to do that and tell that he was telling the truth, about everything, right? I don't know what to make of the Empress kissing Desmond Hart, like, I don't know where that's going to go. I guess they're going to be fucking now. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to be good. That's not going to lead anywhere good, now they're going to, they were already buddy anyway, so now they're going to be really tight. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I got. I'm looking forward to the finale. I think this show's got a lot of long-term potential. For multiple seasons of good TV, more than one.
Yeah, I hope so, because I mean, I can say, before we get into Saber, I'm very impressed how well paced this episode was in the whole series. Like, they've done a really good job of packing a lot of storylines for this like short amount of episodes. So that's really good. That's something that Disney Plus should learn, to give an hour or at least 55 minutes to tell their story, because like this is how you can tell the stories here. Cyber. So up from the dinner scene up to the end, sir. What you thought about that? Plus the twists and turns that we got for these last moments. Go ahead.
All right, so the magical conclusion of the episode. I think that the ending is very solid. And I think that there's a lot that was unpacked in these last few minutes of the episode. We really push towards, kind of how the Mark Strong's current wife is trying to maneuver things. We get kind of the conflict she has with her stepson, his real mother popping back up. We have many kind of like people betraying each other / kind of trying to get into the position that they need to be able to get empowered that they want to. So as we see throughout this whole entire episode, including the end of this episode, we're really seeing kind of where all the people are moving their pawns to get to the position they need to be in to take the house that they want or to become the power that they want to be. And this ending really shows that with, the son being pointed, him and the boy's mother getting back together almost, and the current wife, going after Desmond and try to get him to help her become the number one power. And so we just kind of have all these intersecting people trying to be number one. And that's pretty much what it's all about. It's about being in control, being in power, and being the top dog of the Dune universe. And they did a beautiful job of, expressing that in this whole entire episode, even including the very end here. They really bring it to a full tilt here to really bring us into that final episode where who knows what the hell is going to happen. I mean, we had a lot happen in this episode. We had interesting turn events and all that kind of stuff. And so I think that sixth and final episode of this season is going to be humongous. I have a feeling it's going to be like an hour and 15 minutes. It's going to be a solid final episode. And I think, with all the things that happened at the end of this episode, we're going to have lots of great action in the next episode that we haven't. And like you mentioned earlier, Andres, where, this had the most action in it, which it did. It had quite a bit of action in it, from the sparring to, to the actual fight sequence at that hangar where they're trying to look for Spice. We did have quite a bit of action in this episode. So, I'm hoping that the next episode will have even more action. But I think it's a really solid final portion of the episode, and I think that all the pieces are falling into place very well and giving us a really great climax to a fantastic episode.
Yeah, no. I was very shocked for that, but we kind of needed it if the next episode is going to be even longer. Yeah, so I just want to say thank you everyone for joining us for this awesome live recap on Dune Prophecy episode 5. Thank you, Jeff and Cyber. You guys were awesome. I just want to say, hold on. Let me apologize to all the viewers here and these guys. Sorry about the really clunky, notes here. There was just a lot I had to keep up with.
You did a great job, sir. Don't worry about it. You did fine.
Yeah,
Cyber, you had some really good takes too, sir. So you didn't do anything wrong, Andres.
No. And I just wish that, like, especially like I take some notes here, and also like for HBO show, if I sometimes look at Wikipedia's to see like what's going on with the summaries, right? And I did, and this has been successful for me for House of Dragon season 2 and the Penguin. They have their own pages about the episodes that we had, and they follow what was going on with the episode, and it was easy for me to moderate it. But with Dune, it's like they just give you this one summary and that's it. I'm like, come on. So I had to look all over different sites and all that to create my notes while watching.
Okay. You could actually find full summaries, like somewhere other than Wikipedia.
Yeah. So to find, because sometimes the Wikipedias they have like you can go to the episode that happened. You click it and there's like a full on like beat to beat scene of what happened to the episode. And that's been helpful for me for the Penguin and House of Dragon when I did the moderation. So I just want to apologize, with the clunky thing, but I just want to thank you guys for being patient with me, and this was fun. So good luck, Jeff, for next week. It's going to be a big one. Go ahead.
I'm sure it'll be okay. You want to do ratings real quick? I'll give it a 9.5.
Yeah, rating. Yeah. I'll give it a 9.5 out of 10. I thought this was a good point out the episode to the finale. Cyber rating
10.
Awesome. All right, so that's our ratings, folks. Jeff, plug this out, and we should be get out of here.
All right, Cyberneticshark, so you're up first, sir.
Hey, how's it going out there, folks? If you enjoy me here on the panel or as a moderator on the MCU'S But Again, you could check out my solo content. You can find me under Cyberneticshark. You can find me on YouTube, TikTok, Threads, X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Patreon. You can pretty much find me anywhere, so check it out. As you see here on my YouTube channel, my most recent review there is Wicked. Check that out if you like a unbiased review about it. And definitely check that out, folks. I talk quite a bit about it and how, it could have been a way better movie. So definitely check that out. And then, of course, my most recent short, of course, is still for Kraven the Hunter, which I will have the full review up eventually here soon. Still have to record it. And, just haven't, been watching stuff, but not really much new stuff. And just trying to keep up with the times and all that kind of good stuff. And we'll be having more content for you guys soon, more trailer reactions and some more stuff for you guys. So keep an eye out, keep on subscribing, keep on watching. Let's get that wonderful, runtime up there, watch time, all that kind of good stuff, and help us continue on the path to greater heights.
Cyber, are you going to go see the Lord of the Rings animated movie?
Eventually.
Andres.
Hello, everyone. This is Andreas, Pop Culture Guy here. I just want to say thank you, everyone, for joining us for tonight's episode. It was a pleasure. So, I got here. I just recently posted a awesome clip from The World's Not Enough, the great chase scene from the opening pre-title sequence. Check that out. Yesterday, I posted two videos. So I had the Superman 78 Brainiac Chapter 2 there. So check it out. That's the comic book for the Chris Reeve universe, and then I did my respect review on the Terminator for his 40th anniversary. After this, I'm gonna post my World Isn't Enough 25th anniversary. This week, I got tributes for the 25th anniversary for the 1990s film. 1999 is a great year for cinema and all that. So Wednesday, I'm gonna have Eyes Wide Shut, and then Friday it will be close out from Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, 25th. So that's my plan for this week. This Sunday, we got the Cinnamon 3rd anniversary live stream this Sunday. Please check us. The three amigos are coming back to review that. Hopefully that'll be fun. That's right. And I do shorts as well. I just do a lot of movie clips. If you check that out, I just did Batman and Robin of all things. So yeah, check that out. So many ice puns. I'm like, oh my god, I'm done. So hopefully I can get away from that and do other shorts. And so good riddance, Batman and Robin. I hate you. I hate you so much, Batman. Anyway, that's all I'd say. Bye, guys.
All right. We love everybody out there. God bless everybody. Have a wonderful Tuesday. Cyber, have a good day at work tomorrow. I'm just a pop culture guy. Make some good content tomorrow. I'm sure you will. And we'll see everybody later. Friday, Broken Arrow. Looking forward to it. Peace.